Alright everybody, how's it going? So kinda went a little crazy on this war boss last night after trying a couple things. We're gonna talk about how to do it now. So put him to the side momentarily. Freehand work. I've wanted to start learning how to do it, so started with something super simple and super basic. Even what I did on him is pretty easy, but a little bit more complicated. So we're gonna go today and show you how to do the other side of this wing. So we got our masking tape. You can use a regular X-Acto knife, a kitchen knife, use whatever for your purposes. I have a rotary blade. Let's move this pallet because we don't need it yet. So we're going to pull some of this trusty painter's tape. Ooh, power axe. It's a video to come. Don't want to lose that shit though. So we're going to take this and measure out about how much we want. And go a little bit more. If it wraps around a little bit, excuse me, that's totally okay. So we've got this one piece. We're gonna put it down on our trusty little cutting mat here. Gotta pull another piece about the same size. And do the same thing. Bam. Now instead of doing 4, I only did 2 because of how wide it is. So we're actually going to cut these. So now, when you're cutting this, if it's not, for what we're doing right here, if this line isn't straight through the middle, totally fine. We have 2 flat edges on either side. We just need this cut in half. And one more over here. That's all we need. They don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be straight. They just need to be smaller. So we have our straight edge on this side. We're going to line that up right over here. About like that. I think that looks pretty good. And this is just a start. So when I did this side, it only got as wide as it did, so I can kind of even it out. This is just a baseline of like what we want to do. This technique is called masking. We're just masking off what we don't want done. So let's look at this side, see where it comes down to. It comes down to about here. So we're gonna try and copy the other side, but we're not worrying about being perfect right now. We'll line all that up at the end. We'll wrap this underneath like that. So the downside to what we got going on right over here on this side of the wing, here and here, these 2 spots right here, we're going to get a little bit of a bleed, which is fine. We're dealing with black and red. So a lot of people will say bring it up first. I'm just going to go full throttle straight to red. That's just me. And I'm also still learning, so, you know, I'll probably find out later on down the road that we should do it a different way. So, you know, again, as I continue to say, learn with me. So we have one stripe here. And so we're going to go ahead and lay this other one across. Pull it off. Bam. Again, we have our straight side on here, so we don't have to worry about what side we're taking for what. And we're going to kind of compare to the other side a little bit to give us a good idea. So this one's going to come this way, so it went just above here. Let's make sure we're using the right side of the, let's make sure we're using that straight side. I'm going to wrap that under. Bam. So it looks a little wonky. That's fine. We'll get it all touched up and stuff here momentarily. I'll bust out the old wet palette. And now we're just going to get to work. We just went from cool at setting this up to bam, we're just doing it. So now we're going to take some of this Mephiston red. Put some of this down on the palette. We're working with red, so we got a clean pot of water here. Move this tape, we don't need it anymore. Thin that out a little bit. And then we're going to just fill in these 5 spots. So we'll just get it in there. Remember, let's not worry too much about it bleeding through at the moment. It will a little bit. We didn't like squish it down perfectly. We didn't, because we kind of know to some degree that we're going to have to go through and touch some things up, and we're gonna want to square it off better. And so for now, we're just getting a base on there, just getting us a working starting point. Just get coat on there. Make sure you have lines to follow, right? Crevice, and work on putting it right back in, I guess. So the other wing was my first attempt at some freehand last night, and I think it came out really well. So I wanted to make this video and share it with you guys, especially my fellow Blood Angel players. Maybe you're just getting started in painting, maybe you're just getting started in the hobby. Either way, welcome. Maybe you just found my channel because of the way I share things. Cool, thank you, awesome, appreciate it, welcome. But I did really well on this, so I stopped. Like, I finished some of the cockpit up here and stuff, but I stopped because I wanted to get this done and get it done as a video. But I wanted to then challenge myself some more, and my roommate and I were talking about his war boss that I was working on in my previous video. And well, I did some more work to him that I should have filmed and I didn't. Whoops. But we'll also show him here in a minute, and then I'll finish him in another video. So you want to make sure you get this part of the wing too, on both sides. And like I said, it still doesn't even have to be perfect right now. We're just trying to get down a general X pattern. I want to do more freehand work on this, but I want to do it via masking like I am now. So I have to wait a little bit and print some things out. And make myself some stencils. I want to try and make some reusable ones, or like a little bit more reusable, I guess, than cutting out tape all the time. If I figure something out, and when I do, because I will make a video on how to do just that. So we have our basic idea down. Doesn't need to be perfect right now. It's totally fine. We want it all to match in the end anyway. So we're going to take off the first layer of tape. Like I said, I knew we were going to have some bleed, and it's still totally fine. There's that other piece of tape. Pull it off carefully. Okay. This bleed right here, 100% okay, because it's going to be covered up anyway. It's within its own, it's still within an area that I'm going to be painting red, so it technically just doesn't matter at all. Right here, you'll notice I missed some, but this is all going to be one. So, and I don't want to paint this piece of the engine red that's under here. It will be a different color, so that's fine. Now I'm going to line this one up, and I'm just going to finish it out. We'll bring it up to match the brightness of the Mephiston red on this side. After we bring all the lines together, and when we bring out that brightness is when we'll like line it out and really nail like the thickness on both sides and the symmetry of it and in it. So bam, we'll go here first. And because we're painting it with black as our like bottom coat, touching up isn't too bad. We'll get there. I've got some Abaddon black right here ready to help me when we get to that step. So just kind of go for it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. that's how we figure it out. Trial and error. I mean, that's how I'm learning. And I appreciate y'all coming and learning with me. So I can tell you for sure down here we're going to have to mess with the lining because this took this off that straight line path. You can kind of plan ahead for that and snip and trim things a little bit better than I did. I was just kind of like, cool, let's get this done. Head first, headlong, the best way to do things. No, take things out. We got to plan better. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to go through the usual YouTube stuff. Please, 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 please like, share, subscribe, follow. I have a page on Facebook as well. It's called Inquisition Modeling. I share all of my content from here to there as well as post all kinds of things daily. I might, when I'm able to, I'll probably start asking you guys as fans things you might want to see me do. Like what would be some kit bashes you guys want to watch, some painting things you might want to learn, some things you just want to talk about. I'm not really planning on like live events, so I don't really know if that's gonna ever be a thing on here. Just putting that out there. But do please, even if you're not, this isn't like your kind of content. Maybe you have a friend that's into wargaming. Maybe you have a friend that's into painting minis, and you don't know. Maybe they keep it on the DL. That's cool. Like, but maybe they find my content entertaining. Share it. If anything, it at least helps my algorithms, and I appreciate all the support to help get my channel out there and help build this community. Sorry, my throat's been a little achy, so I have to keep taking a drink because I'm all stuffy and stuff. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm just stuffy, and it's not fun. So now we're going to take this other tape off. And we're going to make these other lines meet up. You know, that doesn't look too bad. We have a little bit of a bleed, which we knew we would. I kind of called it because right here it came up, right there. Right here, I don't really mind so much, actually, because that's close enough, and we might end up having to expand this. I might expand it this way just a little bit to compensate for that side, or we'll figure this out. This bleed isn't going to matter, and neither will that one. So that actually came out really well. And just like that, you match the lines back up. This one's going to be a little bit trickier because I don't come from this direction, but I want you guys to be able to see it. So just do your best to keep that line as straight as possible. But also remember, we can come touch it back up, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, obviously, if it starts to look too bad, you can always cover it up completely, do something else. Again, I wanted to try something simple, something big, and then my brain went, cool, challenge accepted, you did that really well, let's instantly move on to something smaller and a little bit more tedious and kind of taskful. Had to pause and make sure I was on camera still. I wasn't sure. Had to make sure everything was lined up. And there we go. That's a really, really good straight line there, actually. This one's going to be a bit trickier because it's a little further. Kind of doodle it on in there. Expand it just a little bit. You see, because we expanded it, we're just going to go ahead and take that expansion all the way back to the top. Bam. Now we have our basic framework. From here, we can bring that red, and really bring that red out. This one isn't looking as good as that one. That makes me sad. But it's okay. It's okay. We can, as stated before, we can move and adjust some things now as we fill in and brighten that red. See, I really wanted these two to be in line. This point and this point, I want it to be straight in a line like that. Damn. Oh well. We can still make it look good. That's the only real thing here is we want it to look good. So even if it's a little bit off. So something I've heard, and I really like it and kind of vibe with the idea a lot, is it's like, who are you showing your models to? Because if you're just showing it within the hobby, are you trying, I forget. It's something about like painting the models for yourself and showing them to people who don't generally paint. Like those are the people you're really kind of painting for, because like those of us within the hobby, we kind of, some of us critique a little too much, especially if you're like super painter. And I mean, to some degree, I want to be there. I'd like to be there. And with enough practice, I'm sure I can get there. I mean, as much as I think it would be cool, I don't think I'm ever going to win a golden demon or anything like that. But, you know, future is weird, so we never know. So that's the basic idea. I think I'm going to finish this line here and then kind of finish the rest of this model out on my own until I have another idea I want to show you. This might actually be a model that gets shown off a bit. So the basic idea of masking is there. So that is one tip for freehanding. Stenciling. Stenciling is always a thing too. Some people have taken masking to a complete another level and done full-on banners and stuff. Miniac Gaming has a really good episode on freehanding. Highly recommend his channel as well if you don't already know it. So, an update on that War Boss. While I have this here, I'm going to move this and we're going to bring that War Boss back into the picture. And then talk about a couple upcoming episodes, and we'll probably see the end of this one. So far, the things I've added. So the things I added in the video was the green, the red, and the Gilliman flesh. So we're going to bring out that Gilliman flesh a bit more. The red's good. We're going to add some blue up here. We're going to go above the slap chop method for some metallics all throughout. But the part that relates to this video is the freehand. So my roommate's doing death skulls, so he wants kind of that Celtic woad look. So we hit his face with the blue, and that's actually Thousand Suns blue. And it looks really good, I think. So we actually ditched the Ultramarines blue idea, and we're going with the Thousand Suns blue. So I've got that here, 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 and half of the Grot's face. But the part that I think is really cool, and that I kind of hyper-fixated on after doing that Death Company one, is the checkerboard pattern on the shoulder pad. Again, freehand, just a little bit more tedious. I can show you in another video, maybe on something bigger. I'm going to do a lot of this kind of work on a lot of our orc stuff. And the advice I'm going to give is orcs are probably a really good one to learn to freehand on, because it doesn't have to look perfect. So it's a good one to be like, I'm going to test this idea. It's kind of orky looking, or I can make it orky looking. And then if it doesn't turn out how you wanted it to, but it still turns out okay, then yeah, dude, orcs did it. Why not? So it's a good piece of advice, and I like it. I'm going to practice more freehanding through stencils, through masking, and through just using a faction that nothing has to be perfect with. Play to that faction's characteristics. Whereas my Blood Angels, they're a little bit more of artsy perfectionists. So, like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get up to that grand scale of, like, really cool micro painting, but we can push the limits and continue to try. So, another video I've got coming up, I have the covered in tape from this video. I have the Lieutenant from the Astraeus box, plus a, now where did I put it? Now, plus that power axe that I showed in the beginning of the video, because it was on my table. We are going to fully magnetize this dude. I need to get some supplies for that, because I don't have any super glue at the moment. I've used it all from other projects before starting this channel, which does make me sad, because they look really good, and I think they would have done really well for videos. But it's okay. We'll move forward. We're going to fully magnetize this dude, though. We're going to use every weapon in the kit, +1, and he's going to be the most versatile lieutenant model I have in my army. I'm not sure if he's going to be a Blood Angel or if he's going to be an Angel of the Void. Angel of the Void is my successor chapter. As I continue to think of and write lore for them, I will eventually talk about them more. But that's a story for another time. So, again, as I stated before, please, 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 like and subscribe. Bare minimum, the absolute bare minimum, share these videos for me, please. Help my algorithms, and help me get this tiny, small start of the channel going. All help, all support is greatly appreciated. With that, I'm out. Have a good day, y'all. And do something entertaining. Do something for your mind, body, and soul. Peace.